Listen, Jet.
This guy's a major player in the syndicate, operates all around the asteroids.
You said bell peppers and beef.
His name's Asimov Solensen. Are you listening to me?
There's no beef in here. So you wouldn't really call it bell peppers and beef, now would you?
Yes, I would.
Well, it's not!
What's up, you guys, and welcome back to the Project Manga Podcast. I'm Noxie.
What up, is Kiko?
And Nickums.
And we are back with Tangential tie-ins, and tonight we are going to be taking a look at epic last stands in anime and manga, which is a very important aspect to specifically like shonen and seinen storytelling.
Definitely.
I feel like every major story has had at least one, most times multiple instances of characters that we've fallen in love with, giving their life for the greater good in some kind of way, going out swinging in epic displays of honor and pride, compassion, perseverance, you know, for the sake of friends, for the sake of themselves, for the sake of a combination of different things, but it's always an incredible scene, and we really want to highlight those tonight. And before we get into it, of course, take a look at the link tree down below in the description. That's going to be where you see us on all of our other online communities, audio listening platforms like Spotify and Apple Music, our individual social media accounts like Twitter and Instagram and whatnot, and ways to donate to the Project Manga Podcast if you feel so inclined. But getting into the topic at hand, because I'm very excited to get into this fucking subject, epic last stands, and who wants to go first?
I'll take it. I'll take it. Feel like I haven't gone first in a while. I'm just feeling to go first. I want to be the special guy here.
Go ahead.
What I picked, this one is among the most iconic of all time. I wanted to kind of get out like the biggest one I got first, I guess. I mean, the one that I think resonates kind of with everybody, and that's Jiraiya against the Pain. Six Paths of Pain.
Yep.
So the reason I even chose it, well, it's funny too, because it's like I'm in my hood Discord and it's like, hey, you know, this is the episode I'm doing, you know, like, what do you guys think? And everybody's just like, in unison, Jiraiya. I'm like, all right, Jiraiya it is.
Well, all right,
Jiraiya it is. I mean, you know, the hood loves Naruto, right? So like, but yeah. So fucking, I'm like, that's actually perfect, honestly, because I go back. I mean, I'm thinking of it too, and like I remember it pretty well, and so I go back and watch it again too, and I'm like, man, this shit is like super impactful. Like all the like, first of all, Jiraiya took a lot of fucking damage, right? Loses the arm first, then gets stabbed through this arm, like into the shoulder, and has to break that off.
Crushes
and then,
the windpipe.
And that's when he has one of the pains in the fucking inside the frog, and they don't, and the rest of the pains can't find him, and the you know, elder frogs are telling him, all right, well, you kind of know what's going on here. Let's just cut our losses and get out. You can escape right now. And he's like, no, I can't leave right now, because I know I have a very good suspicion on what his ability is, and I'm the only one who's ever going to be able to find out. Like I know him. Like, you know, he knows Nagato. He can tell that one's Yahiko's body. And like all the information that he has, he's like, I really need to figure this shit out, even if I die. And they're like, you fucking will die. You don't have an arm. Like, you go out there, you're definitely gonna die. He's like, bet, gotta do it.
Gotta do it then. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, but charge it to the game, bro. Like, I gotta get this done.
Charge it to the game.
And see, like, Jiraiya inside of Naruto was easily the most significant death for me, you know what I mean? And like,
thank you. I agree. Some people say some other stuff, you know, but I mean, think that is
everyone's got you know, different strokes for different folks or whatever. But like, Jiraiya was a character that like I was positive was safe. You know what I mean? And up until that point, you know what I mean? And it's common. Yeah. It's common where, you know, older mentors kind of like die. You know what I mean? Like inside of like these stories, but like Jiraiya like was just too. I didn't see it coming, and I was like, holy fucking shit, you know what I mean? And it's like the RDC One World, you know what I'm saying, like skit where, you know, he's watching it, he's like, come on, Jiraiya, bro, stop playing, bro. And it's like, Jiraiya, stop fucking around, bro. Like, hold on, man. Like, nah, dude, Jiraiya's got this shit, bro. He's got hands. He's about to handle this. Jiraiya, you know what I mean? Like you go through like the 6 stages of like grief or whatever, you know, from like the start to like the finish, you know what I mean? Like denial, anger, you know what I mean? And it invoked all of the The emotions, yeah, dude. But I really felt like it was over when they crushed his throat, though. I was like, no.
Yeah.
You know, and then they stick him in the back with all the fucking spears and shit. And I'm like, bro.
It was crazy,
so
too,
brutal.
how the throat got crushed, too. Because it's like, once he comes out of the frog, he like throws the makes like a shadow shuriken and throws it. Obviously, they can all see, so he's just like dodge easily. It's like that's like the least effective attack possible. And then they like all jump in the sky like this, and he looks up, but the one comes out the water, grabs his shit. Like, dude. I was like, I remember watching that because it's crazy too because like. I was reading the Naruto manga like for a while before that, and then like gave up because I moved on to One Piece. I'm like, hey man, I found my real shit here. You know, I love some Naruto, but like now I'm reading One Piece and shit. So it's like I kind of gave up reading Naruto. I was like, but I'm gonna watch anime when there ain't fillers. And so like I was watching that, you know, as that happened, and without reading it at the time. So like. Man, I had no idea any of that shit was gonna happen when fucking Buddy pops out like Jason out the water.
Dude, it's like a heart attack, bro. Like instantly, I'm like, fuck, man. And it's like, and just like the way that he goes out was like so honorable and so like it was like the most like human, or it was the most like real version of Jiraiya that you're gonna see, obviously, because he's on his last legs. You know what I mean? And he's shown as like. You know, a couple different kinds of characters throughout his life in the series. You know what I mean? You have like the jovial, like pervy, you know, like mentor, and then you have like, you know, the serious, like, all right, you got to get tight. You know what I'm saying? Because there's serious threats out here, kind of mentor. And then like when you see him in this like, you know, final stage of his life, you're like, this is why he was a Sannin. You know what I mean? Like this is why he had the position that he had. This is why he's as revered as he is. And when he's fucking riding on the back of the fucking like frog, like. You know, like the meme, like this motherfucker, 6 people. You know what I mean? Like I gotta get the message out. Like they need to know what's good with this situation. You know what I'm saying? Like they gotta know.
I feel like like part of the reason you're like you said it was unexpected for Jiraiya to die. You thought he was safe, and you think he was safe in the whole series because he was jovial, because he was just a teacher, and he had no aspirations to be Hokage. You know what I mean? So like you're like. He doesn't seem the type to sacrifice himself for something bigger, but then you see like no he will, and he did, and like that was like just the final piece of his character that's like, oh damn, like this is why he's exactly you say a Sannin, exactly.
And his last little monologue as he's floating away in the water, bro, it's just like tears. I didn't cry the whole time until
so
then.
Much, man.
Until like I'm sitting there, you know what I'm saying, with my blanket up to my fucking face, like shaking, like oh my god, Jiraiya's dying. But I was like, once the the throat got crushed, and I was like, okay, he's really gonna die here, and I was like resigned to it. I was like, fuck, man, Jiraiya's out of here, bro. And like I was ready. I was like, okay, well, this is what it is. But then when you get that last little like monologue of his voice actor like floating away in the fucking water, I was like, that's when the eyes got warm, and I was like, no.
You know, there's I feel like no way you weren't. No, everybody was hurt seeing that, reading that, whatever. There's no way you came out unscathed.
He's like the Keanu Reeves of the story, bro. Everybody fucking loved that character. Nobody hated Jiraiya. Nobody, you know what I mean? And it's like,
and the what you're talking about too, I feel like after he's already smashed into the water, but like even before that, he like gets his throat crushed, gets stabbed in the back 5 times by the fucking magnetic poles or whatever.
The magnetic poles,
and he's sitting there thinking like, damn, like I failed again, because he's like thinking back, like all of my failures, like, you know, I could never win Tsunade over. I let Orochimaru escape, my best friend. You know, I let my teacher and my mentor, my student and my mentor die, the 4th Hokage and Sarutobi. It's like, I got nothing but failures. And I sat here and promised myself that I was going to go out, like, I was going to make sure I did a great deed that made up for all my failures.
Right.
And like, this was the one. And he's like thinking back, and you kind of like see him flashing through his life, and he remembers like Minato and Kushina and like their
even flashes back to like Tsunade and like Orochimaru like situations, you know what I mean? And it's like
all of it, all like basically his whole life. And when you know, he's you know, writing his books and shit, you know, it's kind of just like peaceful, you know, at first, you know, he's writing his books, and then you see like Minato like reading his first book, and he's like, this is the greatest story ever. Like, this is about like Will and all. Like, this is, I love your story, and that's why we're naming, you know, Naruto after your main character in your book. Like, it was Naruto, and like and just thinking of that, that's kind of like transitions into him thinking like about Naruto and like, you know, the prophecy that he was going through. So it's like he had 3 possible students, you know, with fucking Nagato and then Minato and now Naruto. That could have been like the you know, the prophesized, you know, student that was going to change the world or whatever, either for good or for bad. So he was like, I don't even know, like, is it Nagato for bad or was it, you know, Naruto for good since Minato is dead? You know, just kind of transitioning through that. And just one thing that really stuck out to me is when he said something. It was just like the most important thing a ninja can, or like the most important attribute to a ninja isn't how many jutsu he's mastered, but like his will and bravery and strength and all that kind, you know, typical, you know, whole shonen shit. But like honor, that, he was flashing back. When he was talking, it was flashing back to when he was talking to Orochimaru during that Sannin fight. You know, and like you get to see Naruto like stand up to Kabuto at the time. It's like a flashback of all that, and you see like Naruto's Nindo, and he's like, you know what, I raised a great student or whatever, and like if that's his Nindo, like I'm fine with that. But that like gives him the ability to like raise back up from death. He's like, my heart stopped. Pain even said his heart was stopped, but he gets back up to write the message on the back of the frog, like, and then gets crushed into the ground, into the water.
Oh my god, bro! And I think what makes that last stand kind of like, you know, hit a little bit harder for me is that like a lot of these can be in front of a lot of people, you know, or in front of like multiple people, but like he died alone, and they beat his ass, bro. Like, like you got stomped out by 6 motherfuckers alone with none of your people around you, died, and like you're not even sure before you die.
By one of your people,
and you're not even sure, you know, that your last effort message is gonna get to anybody in a way that like matters. Like he died with so much you know, uncertainties, you know what I mean, and things, you know, like he didn't get a lot of closure in a lot of areas, you know what I mean. So it was just really it was really sad, but he went out like a G nonetheless, and that's such an incredible pick, bro.
You know, it's sometimes when we do these things, I feel like I try to overthink them and try to like dig deep, but it's like, well, you know, it's the classics, man. Like this is one of the most iconic deaths of all time in anime. And you know what? At the end of the day, Naruto's the second greatest shonen ever made. You know, maybe say Dragon Ball instead, but you know, or Hunter. We would say Hunter personally, story wise, but like critically acclaimed. Like
it's
the streets,
definitely like
everybody will agree that like Naruto. Like, people will say Naruto is better than One Piece. It's the only thing that people say is better than One Piece, right?
It's got like the influence,
but you know,
but from an influential standpoint, right? You know what I mean? Like
especially in America, like Naruto in America, Naruto and Dragon Ball in America are higher than One Piece, right? And that's still, you know, One Piece is ripping that back away here finally, since 4 kids put him in the dirt to begin with. But like Naruto in go ask anybody, like at least the people that I know, like anybody from the walks of life that I know, like what anime do you even if people don't know anime,
it's like iconic. Naruto. It's a household name. Like my mom knows what the fuck Naruto is, you know what I'm saying? Like my mom,
they might say Naruto,
if my mom knows what fucking Naruto is, then like that's some pretty crazy influential spread there. You know what I mean? So definitely.
But
yeah, dude, Jiraiya, fuck yeah.
Hell yeah.
Was that okay, let's move on.
That's it, True G, let's go.
Nick, what do you got?
Yeah, I'll go next. So this pick, super iconic, and I guarantee we and many viewers have seen this scene maybe a dozen times, because it was always playing late night on Adult Swim. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we got Spike from Cowboy Bebop. I feel like I just have all these memories of like being like in high school and like, you know, falling asleep on the couch late night to Cowboy Bebop, and you know it was. You always were catching an episode here, an episode there, so you never really caught the whole thing. But I feel like I saw that death scene, you know, where he's storming, you know, Vicious's, you know, compound or whatever, storming the organization base, or whatever.
Solo Dolo, baby, let's
go. Red Dragon Syndicate, my favorite game ever.
And like, damn, just the whole scene, the whole episode, the dual episode, you know, the last 2 episodes in the season or series,
Jupiter Jazz,
Real Folk Blues. No, Real Folk Blues.
Oh, Real Folk Blues. Yeah.
And like, he finally gets back with Julia, and they're like,
Jupiter Jazz was the flashback with Julia, the first one.
It's where they go to Jupiter. They're chasing Julia because Vicious is using Julia's name to sell the bloody eye. That's why they go to Jupiter.
All right,
right.
Thank you.
Right.
Yeah, continue though.
But they finally get back together. They're finally like, let's run away. Let's get out of here. You know what I mean? And then Julia dies.
Oh man,
tragically.
Bro. Yes.
And Spike is just like covering everything, you know what I mean? He's just almost has like the second sense of like, yep, he's gonna be there, there, and then just like he was 1 second too late, someone comes around the corner and he's like, and she's already dead.
Yes.
Then he goes back to the ship, to Jet's ship, the Bebop or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Has his last meal of that, shitty green peppers and beef with no beef.
Bell peppers with no beef.
Yeah. And they have another talk, you know what I mean? And then he storms the base. One-man army. He's just killing everyone.
One-man army, bro.
And I was just watching it, in preparation for this again, and he's using like remote mines. He's like putting mines and then like running around the corner, and people will follow him. He just like blows the shit out of them.
Yes.
And then you get probably the coolest, maybe the only one, but at least definitely the coolest ever gun versus sword fight that actually like works. You know what I mean? Because Vicious has a sword, he has a gun. Yeah. And they're, going at it. And I love this iconic moment where like they both lose their weapon.
Right.
And and the weapons kind of like fall to each other.
Yeah.
And they kind of have this like moment like, all right, let's do this, but like let's have our own weapons. So they give each other their weapons back.
Yeah.
And then that's the final attack, right? They give each other weapons back, and then boom, Vicious like slashes him right through the guts, and then Spike kills him.
Yeah.
And then and apparently I didn't know this, but apparently whether Spike died or not is actually a very hot debate, or used to be a hot debate.
Yeah, that's right. It was kind of like left up for
right, because
audience interpretation. Yeah,
exactly. And the director Watanabe, he's even said like it is up to interpretation if he dies or not. Now I think if you watch the episodes and the series, I think it's
looks
very
like
obvious
he dies
that
to
he dies.
me.
Yeah.
Because like I said he died.
Like, bro, you got your guts spilling out on the fucking like.
Well, I mean, all you see of Spike is that he's heavily injured and he's walking down the stairs, and there's all these still living mob members, and they're all like in awe of him because he's like the not the prophesized, but he was like maybe going to succeed as the leader, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Certainly Vicious wasn't, and the heads did not like Vicious, but they were like maybe Spike or whatever. He had that heart, you know what I mean? I guess. Yeah. But like everyone's like silent, you know what I mean? Like this dude just like literally killed Vicious and like ripped through all of us.
Yeah.
And then Spike just goes bang
with
his finger gun, and then collapses.
Yeah.
Now
collapses.
Right. But that's all you see, so you don't really know he's dead. But
for sure,
there's all these scenes where like Jet goes to see that Native American dude in the desert, right? To that kind of fortune teller, spirit guide kind of thing, and
he's I want to say.
Yeah. And this guy is saying like every person has a star. You know what I mean? And when they die, the star goes out. Every life. And then at the end of the episode, you see it pans up to the sky into the stars, and a star goes out. Yeah. So I think it's pretty obvious in my opinion that he's dead.
But
or whatever.
I definitely understand the debate, though. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Because he's the main character. You don't want him to die, so then you start trying to find ways to justify that he didn't. You know what I mean? Even though there's
no manga.
Yeah.
There's no manga prior. Watanabe just gets to make anime because he's a G, right? He's a fucking beast. And so like, but then a manga adaptation from the anime, like there's a manga adaptation of the anime.
Right.
I can't say I really read it, but I feel like Spike does live through that in the manga. I want to say I'm not clear on that. Somebody should let us know in the comments. But
hit us up. Yeah. But as you say, cool to know. It is an adaptation. So this is the weird case where like the anime is the original and the manga is for the benefit of people that like to read manga.
Yeah.
And let's give you the story of the anime, but it's not. It's. I mean, I'm sure it's like canon, but is it really canon? I don't know.
It's weird. Yeah. What is canon at this point? Only the anime. Like you're just like, and yet you got like that episode where there's that little fucking blob of green shit eating them on the
from the fridge.
I love that episode. You hate that episode. You said that's the one you skipped.
It's my favorite.
Well, Kiko, like I think that's the one.
I have a personal reason why I hate it because it's like so like Nick, you were saying
it's like Alien.
We used to but back in the day on Adult Swim, we're in high school and shit. It's like we don't get to catch this every it's like on whatever, once a week or Saturdays or whatever, and it's like you don't catch it every Saturday. And I felt like I landed on that episode like Too many times, way too many times. I was so mad. I was just ready to punch my TV and I left.
This again?
I came home. I was like, I'm in high school. I'm coming home on Saturday night to watch anime. You better put a fucking tight episode on, and if it's not, I'm about to swing and leave. And that's what I did. I left mad. It's like, all right, I'm not watching Outlaw Star tonight because Cowboy Bebop was whack.
Right.
Go to bed, man. I'm gonna punch this pillow a couple times.
Shit, I went back out. It was midnight. I was out of there.
I just remember like the classic quote. You know what I mean? Like. And you hear this sampled in lo-fi so much, you know what I mean? But like, Spike is on the Bebop, and he's already talked with Jet, and he's leaving to go on his ship or whatever, and Faye is like you're gonna leave for this woman or whatever, you know what I mean? And you're gonna die, you know what I mean? Like he's like, I'm not going to die, I'm going to find out if I'm really alive.
Yeah, dude.
Like, ooh.
Chills, bro. And see, like, and it's always these kind of scenes that like show you who these characters like really are, you know what I mean? Because like when you're in your last moments, like your true like self comes out, you know, like we've heard that a million times in all kinds of fiction stories, you know what I'm saying? Like in one way or another, you know what I mean? And I think going back to like that final, you know, kind of situation when Julia dies is when you, from that point until the end of the fucking series, you just see Spike, true Spike, like who Spike, like, and, you know, and like Spike is still, you know, the funny, you know, like charismatic, you know, like smooth talking like character that is like previously in the series. But like at the same time, it's like when you're a bounty hunter and you do things the way that Spike does, it's like there's a certain kind of like, you know, persona that you put on like for your like line of work, you know what I mean? And like you could totally tell that he has a past and he doesn't really have too many reasons like on the surface to like be as jovial and like, you know, like bouncy and like springy like as he is, but he puts on that front because maybe that's like a coping mechanism for his traumas, you know what I mean?
It's like Kenshin, you know what I mean? Like he's been through some shit, he puts on this front. There's tons of characters like that, but I totally agree that this is a scene.
Basically create a new personality for yourself, right?
Right. To break free from the you know what I mean? But now that he's going back to finish, you know, what he started, then the switch flips, and all of a sudden he's badass mode. He's super serious mode.
This is the most. This is as Spike as it gets. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's like. And it's just like cool how the storytelling like shows that, you know, in ways that aren't like, you don't get exposition, you don't get narration, you know what I'm saying? Like you don't have Ichiro Nagai like telling you like his internal monologue, like it was at this moment that Spike became who he really is, you know what I mean? Like it's like you can see
3
it.
seconds have passed.
Yeah, like you can see it. You can see it, you know what I'm saying? Like in the you know, in the way that the scene is composed, you know, and it's just like what a classic. What a good pick. Wow.
Yeah, definitely. One more thing I really want to say about that too, because Nick, you reminded me like that promo, like, am I really alive? Reminded me of, it's like episode 5 or 6, I want to say, the first time Spike goes back and faces Vicious, and he gets like his Vicious grabs him by the face and like breaks his face and throws him out the cathedral window or whatever. You know, and before like he goes there, maybe it's not this episode. I know for one time, like Faye is mad that he's leaving. Maybe this is at the same time, but he looks her dead in the eyes and he said, "Hey, look at my eyes.
Yes,
they're different colors."
This is the exact scene. This is at the end.
It is the same thing. Okay, and he's like, they're different colors. Because one's a glass eye, right? He said, "I lost one of my eyes." And he says, "Every day I see the past in this eye and the present in this eye. And I can't live without knowing like what's going. You know, like I have to fix my past. Like I can't live with these visions in my head this way anymore." And that was so powerful. Like you're just like, huge. Damn, like especially since like you've been talking about, he's been very kind of enigmatic. For a good period of time. Because, you know, you're right. Like he has a very checkered past, even though he's lived honorably as a Yakuza or whatever, you know. And it's, I'm sure he's done a lot of things he's not proud of, but and obviously he knew that, and that's why he escaped. And he escaped because him and Julia wanted to go live a life away from Vicious too, because Vicious would, you know, like obviously this whole thing, like, I mean, it's just really powerful because it's something that feels like American to me in a way, and even though it's Japanese, like Yakuza and just the gangs that we have here, it's like a lot of the stories like I saw like growing up, like it's like when I saw anime that kind of reflected like what I knew about like American gang life too. It's like you can't leave, you're in this, you're done, like this is your life, you'll never leave, you know, like that was always like so it hit so hard when he that scene that you're talking about, like I don't know if I'm really alive, like
dude,
that's powerful as fuck.
Hell yeah.
And then you get those cards, like you're gonna carry that weight, you know what I'm saying? Like,
that is literally the last panel that you see of the show of the anime, right? Like it just you know, black, you're gonna carry that weight.
Dude.
Whew. So powerful.
Fuck yeah. That's an amazing last stand choice to bring up. That was an amazing conversation we had for that. Yeah. So it's me, right?
What do you got?
Well, I'm. You want to know what you talking about? You bringing up Spike the way that you did, and the things that you said reminded me of one that's like just hitting me off the top of my head. So I'm going to bring it up right now, just because it's fresh in my mind.
Let's go.
Have you guys ever seen the movie? Have you guys ever seen the movie Sword of the Stranger? So I'll get in my bag here real quick, because this is a really epic like last stand that like I definitely want to talk about now that you've reminded me of it. But because you guys haven't like seen the movie, I'll go kind of quick, and then we can figure out.
I remember we were watching it, but I was too lit and I passed out. I don't remember. I didn't see the end. Like
it's so good. It's probably like top 3 like anime movies for me. You know what I mean?
I really need to go back and watch it. I remember it being super tight, but I forgot about it now that you mentioned it.
Yeah, I'll just lightly brush past the premise, because but it's basically it's a boy who's being chased by the Chinese army because they want his blood to turn it into an elixir of immortality. And this boy, is like trying to like escape, the pursuit of the Chinese army and whatnot. And then he runs into this swordsman. It's nameless swordsman, Nanashi. You know what I mean? Is what he calls him, which we know, like, samurai.
Definitely.
And, like other, stories have used that before. But he's this no-name samurai, and like he's cold-blooded, right? And the kid like doesn't necessarily like want to like have this dude as his bodyguard or whatever, but their circumstances, aligned, and the stars aligned, and he's just like, and then all of a sudden his like dog gets hurt. So he's like, all right, well, you want to know what? You're the tightest swordsman around. My dog is like hurt. I'm getting chased by everyone. Like, so I'll hire you to, protect me from this Chinese army. And they go through the entire movie where this dude is, fighting all of these, the Chinese army's top warriors or whatever. And the final fight scene in this movie is easily the best sword fight that I've ever seen in anime. You know what I mean? Like, you guys should definitely, if you don't watch the movie, you guys should definitely just like watch that scene, because it's beautifully choreographed, it's beautifully directed, it's beautifully animated. I'm seeing things inside of this fight scene that I've never seen like before in anime, like, period. You know what I mean? And like, you could just tell that the budget was just like all for this fucking scene, right? Like, I'm talking about like, bro, like it's snowing where they're at, right? And like, how like when there's like snowfall and it's like the really like light thin layer of like snow that like a gust of wind like will come and like just make like a big cloud, you know what I mean, out of the thin layer of like dust snow on the ground. They animated that like perfectly. I've never seen that snow like animated that way, like ever before or whatever. And it's just like this really badass final moment, in the final fight scene, where like the nameless swordsman is like beat up and like battered from like all of his fights throughout the movie, and and this European swordsman tracks him down, you know what I mean? And he's got like a really weird way of speaking. I can't remember if it's because he didn't like really know Japanese all that well, or if it was just because he had like some kind of issue. But like his like dialogue was very broken. You know what I mean? But you could tell he was a beast. Like, he's a cold-blooded like swordsman and martial artist. So is the main character, swordsman or whatever. But like, he tracks him down, and then he tries to give him, and he's like bleeding out like already. Like, he's like wounded. You know what I mean? Trying to protect this kid, and he gives him, the European like swordsman like has this vial of medicine, and he's like, here you go, bro. Like, like I'll give you this, this medicine so you like won't feel your pain. You know what I mean? And he's like, I don't want that shit, because the pain reminds me that I'm alive. You know what I mean? And you're like, oh shit. And then the music, the score is fucking incredible. The kid gets behind him with the dog. He grabs his fucking like sword. He's like staggering. You know what I mean? Because you could tell he's fucked up. You're like, I don't think he's gonna win this fight. He goes in front of a fire. There's like a torch, or something on the side, and he fucking holds his hand, and the sword over the torch. And I don't know if that's because his hands were cold and you don't want to fight, you don't want to go into a sword fight with cold hands, or if it was because like he wanted to warm up his blade, so that it could take more damage. You know what I mean? I don't know, but like their swords like are breaking during the fight. You know what I mean? I think I remember his sword doesn't really break, but the other dude's does. You know what I mean? And I like think back to that scene, and I'm like, damn, did he fucking heat up the sword so that it could like take more like damn? Because that's one of the tightest things I've ever fucking seen in a sword fight, bro.
If you're fighting in the cold and everybody's blades are shattering because of the cold, like, that makes a lot of sense. To, make sure my shit's coming out nice and coming hot.
There's just animation techniques and like decisions in this fight that make it so epic, and he's like taking little damage here and there because this dude that he's fighting is in like tip top shape, and he obviously went into the fight like, you know, like exhausted, and like obviously he tried to give him painkillers, so you know he's like suffering throughout the entire fight, but it's beautifully choreographed. They have an incredible fight, and then eventually, you know, it comes down to the last attack, and you know, he kills the European swordsman that was after him. And you know, the swordsman, like, this is the first time I've ever even been wounded in battle. And you want to know what? The blow from a sword feels weird as fuck, bro. Like he has like this really cool dialogue as he goes out, and I'm like, holy shit, this dude fucking lived. That's fucking wild. But then like, and you want to know what, real quick, while I'm talking about like how amazing the fucking animation techniques are, there's this moment where they're clashing, and like the fucking, like they clash and their swords like, you know, cross until they get closer to each other, and then they're like right up next to each other, and the dude is breathing, and you can see his breath like, you know, making the sword like shinier, so you could see his reflection in it because it's like covered in snow and it's like, you know, like fogged up or whatever, and he like is breathing on it. I'm like, holy fucking shit, this is different. But yeah, so he kills the dude, and then the kid's like, you did it, man. We hell yeah, man, you're the best swordsman in the world. Let's get out of here, bro. And then like they're riding on this horse. And the reason why I brought this up after what you were talking about with Spike is because the ending is left up for interpretation, because this dude like bleeds out on the, like this kid's on the horse with his dog, and the dude's like huffing and puffing, like, you know, like on the back of the horse, and they're like riding off into the sunset or whatever. The kid is like excited as shit that his homeboy lived, you know what I'm saying, and protected him, and then he's like dying on the back of the horse, and I don't think the kid knows.
Slumping over.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And it ends before you get like confirmation that he dies.
Sure.
You know, but then like the last like scene, like the last image you get is like a trail of blood behind the horse's like footsteps, you know what I mean? So it's like obviously like it makes you think like this dude
high
died.
likelihood he's dead.
And it makes sense though, because this dude's has a past that he's been trying to run away from, like ever since he like turned over a new leaf. Like he's killed kids and shit, like when he was doing like when he's like a Ronin or whatever, and he did like some really questionable shit back in his past. So it makes sense that he, you know, you'd have to pay for that eventually, right? You know what I mean? Like it would be weird.
And now that he's saved this kid, he is made up for the fact that he was such a shitty guy earlier in life, and now he's probably fine with, you know, this being his last stand.
Exactly. But I wanted to bring that up because like,
it sounds tight.
Yeah, it's an amazing movie, bro.
So I can't believe I forgot of the movie though.
Yeah.
Swords of the Stranger, ain't that what it is?
Sword of the Stranger, yeah.
If people have seen this, hit us up in the comments. I've never even heard of this movie before.
It's a popular movie.
Fire.
It's actually
it came out in like 2006 or 2007.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I don't remember when it came out, but I remember Noxie hyping it to me because I don't remember that far back. But I remember you hyping it to me, and we watched it, but I like fell asleep, and I never remembered to go back. Recently after. I
remember being cast. I was like, "Yo, you guys gotta see this shit," and then you just no, bro.
But yeah, I remember too. Like shortly after we talked about it, and I meant to go back and watch it, and totally forgot. So I'm definitely gonna peep that.
Javon put me on.
Yeah,
our homeboy Javon.
Yeah.
Put me on
that. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes all this. Okay.
Yep.
Now I know how that connected. Perfect.
Yes, absolutely.
Tight.
Yeah.
Tight.
Okay. That'll be my first round to talk about that a little bit longer than I just wanted to lightly touch on it, but then I remembered everything and I was like, this is such a good fucking pick for this conversation. Sword of the Stranger fans, I got you. Fuck yeah. Yes. Okay. Let's but yeah, let's move on. Kiko, what do you got?
Which one should I do next? I got a couple here. So, you know what? I think I'm gonna throw you guys a curveball. I bet you guys would never expect this out of me.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Jonathan Joestar.
Jonathan
Joestar. Man, it's, you know,
This is Phantom Blood, right?
Yeah. And I haven't watched the first 2 seasons of JoJo in a long time because I went back and watched season 3 and 4 and 5. Well, I only watched season 5 once. I saw season 4 twice and I've seen season 3 twice because I always, in my mind, I was just like, JoJo really starts at season 3 to me. Like, I'm just going to kind of just forget about Hamon and all this shit and just kind of try to move along. Right. Yeah, just I like clean continuity, you know, and I'm just like I just want to start at season 3, even though I did properly start at season 1 and season 2, like when I first started watching it. So like going back and watching it, man, I like really kind of forgot. Like I knew he went out protecting Arena, you know, like and like just he goes out. I mean, not only how he goes out, this is just how he lives. Like Jonathan is a true gentleman. He cares about everything and everybody around him. He thinks about how his actions impact everybody around him. Like he just really truly cares about everybody and is just like a beautiful man, right? Like a beautifully sculpted man too, like 6'5", like 275, swollest dude you could ever see. Like hell yeah. And like so when I was thinking too about it, like initially, I was thinking of like where he like grabs Dio and like slams him down into like the burning castle and like we're going out together and I was like, is that the last? No, I was like, no, because they go to the boat and I was like, I gotta go back and watch this shit because I forgot, you know. But like that part too, like that felt like a last stand the first time I'm watching it because it's like he tackles Dio into a flint and his home is on fire and just impales him onto the fucking like statue in the living room or in the whatever main room and like they're gonna burn and die together, you know. Like so it's like he almost had 2 last stands like there, but like the true last stand comes like, okay, we've defeated Dio, like our lives are going to, you know, we're going to live happily ever after. They get on their fucking boat to America and then fucking floating head Dio's like, all right, nope. Eye laser. Fucking shoots fucking Jonathan with the eye laser and he tries to block it and it goes through the hands and hits him in the neck and the throat and so he can't use Hamon appropriately anymore. Like and so like, you got to have, you know, proper breathing technique to use the Hamon and fucking so he's using like the last bit of Hamon he has in his body to attack like the vampire dude Wang Chan or something like that.
Something like that. Wing Chun.
Chun.
And
is that basically the, you know, guy holding Dio's floating head, you know, like, hey, Dio's about to get you. You know?
So now I haven't seen like JoJo like properly, you know what I mean? Like I tried to start it with you guys, you know what I mean? Like but I'm so down for this conversation right now. I have no idea what you're talking about. This shit sounds so lit right now.
It really is, bro.
And I didn't know that Hamon was a breathing technique.
Right.
Yeah, it feels like
I didn't know that was the kind of energy that it was. It's like Kimetsu no Yaiba.
Kind of like
Kimetsu no Yaiba is definitely that's a much better analogy for sure. Yep.
Wow. That's awesome.
So like he gets shot through the neck, uses last Hamon to like attack the zombie, you know, Wing Chen or whatever his name is, and like uses the Hamon to control his body, so it like grabs on to like, I don't know, what a big drive shaft. I mean, it'd be a drive shaft in the car, whatever it is in a boat. And he's like locks onto it, so like the boilers start breaking and shit, and like there's gonna be the boat's gonna explode. And
is that how he goes out?
Yeah, it's a steamship. So he blows up the boiler of the steamship.
He goes out in an explosion.
Yeah, and he's telling his wife like, so like he sees like this woman protect her newborn baby from like the zombies that are taking over the boat, and he's like, my mother did that for me, and you need to do that not only for this baby but for our unborn Joseph, you know, in you right now. Like you need to live, and you can cry, you can mourn me, but you have to live, right? Like get out of here basically, and figure out how to, you know, get out of here. Wow. And so like the boilers start breaking and like metal shrapnel shooting out. So he like jumps over the Arena, his wife, and gets like pow, 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 pelted a bunch of times in the back with like big ass metal shrapnel pieces. Yeah. And fucking Dio's floating head comes out, like 2 fucking entrails come out and starts choking him, trying to rip off, you know, Joseph's head.
Like he's a vampire and he's using his like veins, his jugular veins as like limbs. to like walk around.
Oh my god, dude, that's so
and he's trying
brutal.
to rip Joseph's head on because he wants to put his head on Joseph's body.
Yeah,
you know, so he can continue to live forever with the greatest body that he respects. And it's so crazy too because there's so much great dialogue at the end of this. Because like that Wing Chen dude's starting to try to talk shit to Joseph after he has like holes in the neck, and Dio's like, "Do you want to die right now? Don't talk shit to fucking Joseph. Like this is the only man in the world that I respect. Don't you dare dishonor him." And you're like, what? Like it's such a good like end. Like I totally kind of like forgot how it worked out. When I rewatched, I was like, holy shit, this is fucking gold.
I didn't know JoJo is so good, metal, bro.
Oh, it is super metal. It is very metal.
It's one of the most gruesome,
also some
like
musical references. So to a degree, it's also
metal.
It's
double entendre metal.
It's very metal. Yeah, definitely. Like Reverend Styx. You know, like I didn't know like that was the Reverend's name in the first. I was like, Reverend Styx. That's a little questionable. You know, like
Zeppelin, Led Zeppelin.
Dude,
I mean, all of them.
You know, that's so fucking cool.
Speedwagon. You know,
I knew about REO Speedwagon. I've seen that one. I didn't know, and I've heard that Zeppeli dude, and I didn't know that was a Zepp reference.
Yeah,
Zeppelin.
Wow, dude.
Yeah, I mean, everything's a fucking reference in JoJo to American music, just about.
I might have to. Okay, keep going.
Yeah. So fucking he pulls he's got shrapnel in his back for protecting his wife, and Dio's trying to like rip his fucking head off and like come and like get him, and so fucking Jonathan pulls one of them shrapnel out and fucking stabs Dio's floating head with it, you know, like right like in the bottom of like his neck, like jugular part of him too. And Dio's like not dead, but he's taking damage, and like Dio is and Joseph's just out of here. He's on his last stand, so but he embraces Dio's head. He's just holding Dio's head like you know, we're brothers. We went through so much together. Like, I still love you. You know, you're fucked up, but like, you know, and just like dies with tears in his eyes. Like, I love you. And you're thinking about like my wife. I just need her to get away, and I'm just gonna make sure we die together. Like, and you're just gonna die in my embrace. And he like very Willa D-ish too. He's like crying, but he's smiling too. At the end, he's got like a smile and dies like, you know, swole as hell, sitting up with that, you know, embracing Dio's head. Like this shit was really impactful. Like it's like, especially just because of who Jonathan is. It's just like and every Joestar after Jonathan is just they wish they could be as like great of a dude as him, you know. Like he's just like, Jonathan is just the best guy ever. Like
he is the best guy.
Maybe Josuke.
Every JoJo
is the best boy.
Is a JoJo, you know what I mean? Like they all carry on that will that Jonathan has. But I do agree with you that he was.
They're not a gentleman, a true gentleman. Yes,
true gentleman.
Not like a refined true gentleman. Like you know, you got especially, you know, like I mean, all of them. Like Joseph's a swindler and a womanizer. Fucking Jotaro's just a fucking shit
delinquent,
the slowest giant fucking delinquent fuckface
teenager that you've ever seen.
He's cool as fuck though. I mean, at the same time, you know, like they're cool dudes.
When you said that like even the previous fight from that scene, you know what I mean? The fight with Dio was also another last stand. I feel like, and part 1 is only like, I want to say 9 episodes or 8 episodes.
8 or 9.
8 or 9.
And so like basically half the season is his last stand.
His
you know what I mean?
His final battle.
Because he's just by himself. I mean, like, he has Zeppeli with him, but like, and Speedwagon, but like, he's really the guy. You know what I mean? And he's taking it upon himself to like fight all these vampires, all these super high level enemies or whatever. And the whole thing feels like a last stand. He's very desperate.
Yes. Yeah. Definitely.
Wow.
Definitely. Yeah.
Wow.
Awesome.
Fuck yeah.
Didn't think I'd take that one.
I did not think. I was not expecting it.
Okay, so it's my turn next, right?
Yeah. What do you got?
I'm gonna skip the one I was gonna say, and let's keep this JoJo train going. I have a JoJo pick as well.
Okay.
This one's from part 3, Stardust Crusaders, and
this is the part I've seen the most of.
Awesome. Now
I probably haven't seen what you're talking about though.
Let's see if you expected this one. Iggy.
I did. I swear to God, I did. I swear, Iggy's so dude. Iggy, man. Hey, I got cussed out by my wife watching Iggy. I'm just saying, she walked in to see fucking Iggy getting kicked and shit, bro.
Yeah,
she was heated.
So in part 1, you know, you have a dog die, and it's very tragic. And very
what a
graphic.
cute little dog, dude.
Yeah. And so Iggy is a stand user. right?
Oh.
So
Stand user,
Iggy's
yeah.
a dog, but he has a stand. He has the Fool, so it's like a sand-based, ability or whatever. And he's a shitty dog. I mean, like, he is very prideful, arrogant. He does his own thing.
Yeah.
He's his own free spirit. I love this kind of dog or whatever. Like,
Looks
I
like
like
the
dogs that,
dog
like,
from reminds me of the dog from Men in Black.
Yeah.
sure, yeah.
It's like the shit talking like bull, like pit bull or whatever.
Right. He's like a Boston Terrier or something,
German
or
bulldog or whatever. I don't even
yeah.
know. But anyway,
Yeah.
So like the scene is this is at the very end of part 3 basically. So they are invading Dio's complex, and they're in Egypt. And Polnareff, one of the squad, and Iggy are fighting Vanilla Ice.
Whoa! What?
Of course,
Get him
Vanilla
outta
Ice,
here.
Vanilla Ice is just
Get
a
him
name
outta
in
here.
this case.
So wait, Polnareff is the one with the super high top,
super high top,
super
high top,
conformed,
yep.
the white hair,
French dude.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And so this dude's ability, Cream, another music reference.
Wu-Tang?
Dash rules everything around me. No, it's not.
I don't remember.
Sunshine of Your Love.
I feel like it.
Bing,
I think it's Eagles, I want to say.
It's getting
Maybe.
dark. Yeah, that's Cream, right?
Kiko, you look it up and I'll continue.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I
so
wanna
this
see.
ability that
You're right. That is Cream performs
Nice.
Sunshine of Your Love.
Yeah.
That's it.
Nice.
Nice. So that's that reference.
Yes.
Anyway, so the ability is super fucking broken. Basically, it destroys matter. And
my god.
And it also, for some reason, it's like this, the stands are humanoid kind of things or whatever usually.
Yeah.
And it can, in this case, Vanilla Ice is inside the mouth of this stand or whatever. And anything the stand eats is just evaporated, disintegrated, sent to this dimension of darkness kind of thing. And it can
This is
eat
Iggy's
itself.
stand.
No, this is Vanilla Ice's stand.
Vanilla Ice
Okay,
is
because I just looked up
the
Iggy's
enemy.
stand. This shit looks fucking sick. But yeah.
Yeah, the Fool is Iggy's stand. It's just like a sand type thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this bad guy, like, the stand can eat itself and kind of flip inside out dimensions and becomes an invisible ball. So literally, Polnareff and Iggy are fighting an invisible opponent. Now, that if it touches you, it just destroys the matter. It's gone.
Oh my
forever.
god! It's
Now the downside of the ability is that you can't see when it's invisible. Like, so he has to like come out of the mouth to look around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To see Polnareff and Iggy or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, again, Iggy is a very selfish, shitty dog. You know what I mean? Like he would never do
Farts
anything.
in people's faces.
Yeah, farts in people's faces. He just like goes wild all the time.
Little shitbag. Yeah.
And Polnareff is, he's trying to fight this thing, but it's like invisible, whatever, and he's getting damage all over. So it's like his foot gets obliterated, his leg, like muscle gets obliterated. He's just, he's basically like a sitting duck. He like can't move anymore. And Vanilla Ice is like going in a circle around Polnareff, going in, you know what I mean? Closing in on Polnareff. And before this, Vanilla Ice has like just like kicked the shit out of Iggy. It's like, and like Kiko was saying, like, it's a very traumatic scene.
My wife
like
walked in, bro.
Yeah, was like,
cussed out,
this what
man.
you
So
watching? This what we on?
Yeah,
That's
this
your
is
whole
the
thing.
anime you want me to watch next? This is the one you want me? No dogs can die. If you the anime, if a pet dies, I ain't watching it. And you're sleeping on the couch.
There's dog abuse in Phantom Blood.
She's
gonna have a terrible time right away in JoJo.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why I tried.
Anyway,
so Polnareff is about to die, and basically Iggy uses like the last of his energy. You know what I mean? He's like dying.
Mm-hmm.
He's like literally dying because he's been kicked to death. You know what I mean? But like he's coughing up blood and like dying or whatever. He uses the last of his power essentially to lift up Polnareff off the ground onto the ceiling or whatever, kind of like sticking him to the ceiling with sand or whatever.
Yeah.
And then Vanilla Ice misses him or whatever, and Iggy basically dies from just overusing his ability while so damaged or whatever. And basically the sand like becomes inanimate again. You know what I mean? It used to be like, being moved by the ability, and it just like kind of like drops in from the ceiling, and like Polnareff like notices that it has no life to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then like this beautiful scene where like kind of the soul, Iggy's soul, after they beat, Iggy didn't defeat Vanilla Ice. Eventually, Polnareff defeated Vanilla Ice, and I won't spoil how he did it or whatever. Because it doesn't really matter for Iggy exactly. But they beat Vanilla Ice, and and Iggy's soul just like lifts up, kind of a sandy, smoky kind of thing, and lifts up and goes out the window, and then you see in the clouds like Iggy, you know.
No, Sarah McLachlan music in the background.
Yeah.
In the arms of the angel.
Don't do this to me. Those commercials, man. I gotta turn the channel, man. I'm about to adopt every fucking animal in the world after that commercial, bro.
Take all of my money. Spot.
And just another powerful part of the whole scene is that, like, as I said many times now, like, Iggy's a shitty dog, and Polnareff like never really liked Iggy. You know what I mean? But now,
so that's massive. That sacrifice is massive.
And Polnareff like has this kind of monologue where he's like, "Why? Like, I actually like Iggy. I'm realizing I really, really like this dog, and why does this happen to me? That once I realize that I like someone, they are taken away from me. Wow. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, why does this always, like, has happened to him before or whatever?"
Wow.
They're just like,
that's heavy.
Yeah.
That's
super
heavy.
So glad you did Iggy, man. Because as soon as you said part 3, I was like, please, Iggy. Because
for the record, there are many last stands in part 3, and they are very
part
tragic.
3 is Part 3 is brutal, man. Part 3 is that's when I was like, whoa, are we watching the same shit again? Like, I mean, two has a pretty brutal, you know, couple of, but like 3 just, it was different. Like, I was like, holy shit, we've crossed into a new fucking dimension in this goddamn show. And I'm here for it.
Yeah,
I'm here for it.
Wow,
hell yeah,
that's amazing. Yeah. Thank you for taking me on that journey.
Now you, Knox, you gotta start reading JoJo. I want you to read JoJo live.
I would love to do that, actually.
So I would say, read live, but like, there's color.
The anime is so good.
But there's colored version. We'll hook you up with the colored version.
Oh, there's colored versions.
Full color. I've seen that. It's so pretty, man. Yeah. It's the only way to, like, I read part 5 and part 6 color, and I was like, man,
I feel like with
this
some of the
just
designs, the color is like so necessary. I feel like you know, like,
and the color pops through the entire series. That's really like, Araki is a big color nerd, you know what I mean? He's like color combinations and, you know, all that stuff. Yeah, for sure.
Love it.
Fashionista.
Fuck yeah. Back on me, huh?
Yeah, get it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Thors from Vinland Saga.
Yes, that was on my list.
Oh, fuck yeah. Okay, so Thors is another one that just kind of like popped in my head. So you want to know what? Let's when it comes to Thors, I feel like this was like a last stand that is so important for like Thorfinn's character. But like obviously it is, but like just like the way that like Thors is having the conversation with, you know, Thorfinn when he finds him with the knife. You know, and he has that monologue where he's like, you don't have any enemies, bro. Like, you don't need
no one is your enemy.
No one is your enemy, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then like you remember like when he like tells Thorkel, like, I don't need to use a sword anymore. You know what I mean? And Thorkel's like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, we're Vikings, bro. Like, you're a literal war machine. Like what? Like, what do you mean you don't need a sword anymore? You know what I'm saying? And he beats him without a sword or whatever, like knocks him out. And that was really cool. And then that comes into like this scene where he's talking with Thorfinn and he's like, you don't have any enemies, you know, like put the knife down, like fuck all that shit. And then when he dies the way that he does in his last stand, when he's trying to like save them from the ambush of Ocelot's people, like you would think that kind of situation would like teach Thorfinn. Like you think that he would learn, like really take what his father said to heart and like learn exactly what Thors was trying to convey to him in that moment. But instead it turns into, you know, blind rage and revenge. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can't blame him.
You can't blame him. It's huge. It's a big deal.
It's hard to take, especially a young kid. He's a young kid. All he wants, you know, you killed the greatest man in the world in front of me.
Yes,
man.
Exactly. You know what I mean? And I think about it and I'm like, did he not learn the right lesson because he was so young? And that's his dad, or did he not learn the right lesson because, like, he really should get revenge on this motherfucker for what they did because they played him, bro. They played this motherfucker so fucking... Ocelot, man, you know, and it's like, and I don't know,
the whole, like, one of the major messages of Vinland Saga for how violent it is anti-violence. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And so, like, definitely Thorfinn did not get the message properly. I mean, it's also, he he grew up in a Viking community. You know what I mean? Like every single male wants to go to war and die in war. All the little kids are. Their playing with wooden swords and spears and shields, and it's war. You know what I mean? They're playing war,
bopping each other. They're bleeding already.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't think it's surprising for a little kid growing up in this community, in this culture, to see, as Keiko said, the greatest man in the world. You know, your father, you know, super warrior who just like. You know, in the fight, he jumps over to the other boat and like literally beats the shit out and knocks out like 20 people barehanded. He doesn't even pull out his sword until he fights Ashalad. He beats Bjorn tripping on mushrooms.
When he's on the berserker mushroom, bro.
Shit.
Off the goop.
He still beats him barehanded. And so like I think it makes sense for Thorfinn to snap. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but like, at the same time, though, right?
Go into the vengeance, into the anger, into the violence that he's accustomed to. Even though, like, his dad literally said, like, you literally have no enemies, and you do not need a sword. You do not need a weapon.
And then that's reinforced by the fact that he beats everybody without killing them in front of Thorfinn in his last stand, barehanded. Like, you'd think that all of those, that coupled with, you know, the conversation that he has with them, you know, like, I don't know, man. Yeah, but it definitely makes sense that he snapped the way that he did. But it's just like looking back on it, it's like there were so many things that happened that could have had him go. Yeah. You want to know what? My dad died protecting me in this way that he explained to me, and I didn't understand when he took the knife away from me, and he grabbed it by the blade and like sliced his hand and was like, "Fam, you don't need this shit." You know what I mean? And then he proved it by whooping all of them barehanded and not killing a single one when they're all trying to kill him. Right. And it's like, man.
The other super, super powerful line in that fight. So he wipes the floor with all those guys, he beats Bjorn, and then now he's challenging Ashalad to a duel, right?
Yeah.
And he beats Ashalad, you know what I mean? Like pretty handily. And he's like trying to get him to surrender, right? And Ashalad won't submit. He says, kill me, you know, just kill me, that's how this ends or whatever. But he doesn't want to kill him, you know what I mean? He doesn't want to kill anyone. And so then Ashalad kind of says, like, it's pretty impressive what you just did, you know what I mean? Like, you're really, really, really strong and good with a sword. And Thors kind of said this like really cool badass quote, I need to use this sword because I am not yet a master. You know what I mean? And then he says, that's so great, a true warrior does not need a sword. Ooh.
God.
And then it's so long in the manga until Thorfinn like has that click for him, but it's so satisfying when it does. It's just so beautiful.
And you want to know what, man? Like the way that Thors goes out, drops the sword, looks back at Thorfinn, looks up at Ashalad because he knows they're about to make it rain on his ass, bro. And he's like, you trick, like you're bullshitting, like you were fronting the whole time, like you're a piece of shit. Well, like here we go, you know what I'm saying? Like fuck me up, you know what I'm saying? And then they shoot him, he's got fucking arrows sticking out of his neck, he's got arrows sticking out of like every vital area. Every vital area, literally every single place you absolutely do not want to be shot with an arrow. He has a fucking arrow in that part of the body. You know what I mean? But he never falls over. He's like that's really what solidified him as one of the greatest anime characters that I've ever seen. Is that like I'm really big on dying on your feet. You know what I'm saying? Going out on
death
your feet.
On your feet is
death on your feet is one of the hardest like shits like that will goat you instantly for me. And just like the fact that they made a point to like never see this man on his back, you know what I mean, or on his knees, you know what I mean, like was just so powerful for me in my first experience with Vinland Saga. I was like, is this the greatest thing that I've ever read? You know what I mean? Like it was like moments like I was like, it's too early. I was like, no, like let me keep going. You know what I mean? But like, and then you know, it definitely I continue, and it definitely is one of the best things that I've ever fucking read, dude. And it's like, that's just such an epic. That might be my favorite Last Stand. Period.
It's really powerful. It's super powerful.
Yeah.
What you say about dying on your feet reminds me of the 90s X-Men Magneto quote. Let me do the Marvel today.
Yeah, let's go. Fuck yeah.
Magneto said straight to, Charles, like, I'd rather die on my feet than live on my knees. Like,
yeah.
I always remembered that. Like, I just remembered that, like, rang, like, just resonated with me basically my whole life, because I saw that when I was like 7 years old, and I'm like, damn, that's deep as a 7-year-old. Like,
and honestly, what you just said right now is like why Magneto is my favorite comic book character of all time, because he embodies like he's literally a living representation of what X-Men is about. You know what I mean? Just like oppression and like racism and like just like being the kind of person that like won't take it anymore and wants to be the change. You know what I mean? And he's a villain. You know what I mean? Like you know, and his morality he's switched sides back and forth.
Definitely.
All the time throughout the course of the publication history. But like he has the best dialogue in the entire franchise. Unquestionable. Unquestionable. You will not find better. Like, he's one of the most quotable comic book characters of all time.
I almost don't see a fucking speech bubble from Magneto that isn't like quotable.
Dude.
On everything you'll ever see, even like just random like like Magneto panels I see that I just come across. I'm like, man, why is he always spinning so hard?
He's always spinning.
He needs
so
a record deal, bro. Like, we need to Def Jam on Magneto, bro. He's killing it.
Oh my god, that's so true. Fuck yeah. I'm so glad that you took a moment to spotlight him for a sec, because that makes me feel all warm inside, bro.
I know.
Okay.
Is it me next?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it is.
Next.
Yeah.
So this next one is, I think it's just undoubtable that this is the inspiration for Jiraiya.
Ooh.
Kishimoto took for Jiraiya my first pick, and that's Master Roshi. I just don't know how you could not, those are definitely basically two of the same character.
Right. Pervy old mentors.
Yeah. We're going to watch our, instruction aerobics videos all day, But, so what I'm picking for Master Roshi is Dragon Ball, of course, OG Dragon Ball. And at this time, when we said Last Stand, like, you figure you're dead and you're gone forever.
Yeah.
And at this time in Dragon Ball, it was very, very uncertain whether or not anybody would come back, because Master Roshi is squaring off against King Piccolo.
Yes.
They already think Goku is dead. They felt his energy go away and he's dead. They're like, okay, Goku's gone. Like, this is our last fucking chance to stop world domination. Tien, Chaozu, and fucking Master Roshi, roll up on King Piccolo, and then Master Roshi fucking sprays fucking Tien in the face with some fucking sleeping gas or whatever, and fucking like, I got this. This is me. You're for the next generation. This is my battle.
So epic, like, and that's always adds to the scene when the one who is resigned to like die, the one who's resigned to take all the responsibility, has the people, that are accompanying him going, I'll go out with you, bro. And he's like, I fuck with you, but like, you know what I'm saying? Chop to the neck or spray to the face, knock him out, get him out of here. I'm gonna do this. You know what I mean? Fuck yeah.
And they already told Chaozu to like go down, hide behind the other rocks and chill over there for whatever. I think because they're gonna try to like outwish King Piccolo.
Yeah.
But so they have all the Dragon Balls. Master Roshi, their squad has 5. King Piccolo has 2. They roll up. They both got Dragon Radars. They both know all 7 Dragon Balls are right there. And fucking Master Roshi just goes out there and just stands there like, I'm about to take care of you, don't worry, and Piccolo's like, how dare you, some old weird man, what the fuck are you, who are you, why are you out here, do you even know who I am? You're weird.
Buddy.
And Master Roshi's like, oh no, I know exactly who you are, and you should know who I am too. I remember you, trust me. I might be the only I'm one of only 2 people on the planet who know you, like, remember you. I was there that day. I was there the day my master put you away. He says dead to his face, like, I was there, trust me, like, I got you. And King Piccolo's like, I don't know, the fuck, this crazy ass senile old man, what the fuck's he talking about? Like, fuck this guy, right? And he's like,
shit.
Bow, shoots him with a beam, and Master Roshi like blocks it but gets smacked away. And then Master Roshi just stands up, cleans himself off, stands like strong again, like, I'm not actually going to fight you, but I got you. Trust me. Like, I know how to take care of you. And he's like, you know, like hits him with like that, like it's like wind slash like blades that come across him and like cut his fucking whole gi up and smash him into other rocks, and he breaks out of other rocks. He stands up like, don't worry, I got you. Like, and like Piccolo's starting to sweat. Like, man, what the fuck, man? Why is he like
the
so
confidence is a little bit like,
And they start shooting the eye lasers, and it like goes around like Master Roshi, like he's gonna shoot him. Master Roshi doesn't flinch at all. And, like all these explosions, boom, 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 like right next to him. He's just standing there, and then he does it again and like cuts his face with the fuck, and he's like, this old man is like no joke.
Not
like he's starting
games.
to worry, like starting to worry, like what the fuck? And he says like, do you want to? And Master Roshi tells him, like, do you want to know what my master's name was? You want to know my master? His name was Mutai Ito. And he just starts sweating bullets. Oh my God, no. Like, and he's like, maybe this will jog your memory. Throws out the dino cap with the little rice cooker that'll bro, and fucking you could just see fucking King Piccolo starting to shit his pants, and you got Piano's up on the fucking like hovercraft just looking down, like, and he starts shaking because all his like incarnations can feel his emotions, and he's like, oh my God, he's scared, oh my God, like what's going on, you know, like it was so fucking hype. And Master Roshi he was like, and the way he just stood there, like,
that's how you build hype.
Shit.
That's how you build hype,
You ain't gonna do
bro.
shit. And he just stayed, talked to him right to his face, looking him dead in his face, never blink, dead in the eyes, like, you don't want this. Trust me.
Like, let's go, Roshi. Let's go.
And he's like, if you don't give me your Dragon Balls right now, you're out of here. Trust me. And then King Piccolo like regurgitates him and like holds him in his hand. Come take him from me. Come take him from me. He's like, I ain't gotta take him from you. Like, trust me. Like, I got you. You know. It's just so like suspenseful, and like the Dragon Ball OST hits harder than Dragon Ball Z OSTs. Like the Dragon Ball OST hits so hard. And, like, boom, boom, boom.
Yes. It just has that whole shit. 70s like kung fu movie flick like feel to the OST, and it's using like way more like, you know, analog like instruments, you know what I mean, than like the Dragon Ball Z OST, which sounds a lot more electronic, you know what I mean, and it's like and it's
synthesizers
like, and shit, you know what I mean, but like you can tell that there's actually motherfuckers like, you know, orchestras, you know what I'm saying, doing the shit, it feels like.
Got the bass guitar.
So Roshi is what? He's doing the evil containment wave, right? Into the rice cooker?
Into the rice cooker, So,
is it, I forget, like, was it always a rice cooker, or the pot that you normally would use was just broken and you could do anything really, so it doesn't really matter?
You can use any pot as long as it has the talismans on it or whatever, you know, like the written sutras or whatever on it, a couple, you know. And I feel like the one that Mutai Ito used it wasn't a rice cooker, but it definitely felt like a cooking pot of some kind.
I thought it was like a real like witch's cauldron.
Oh, was it? I thought it was like
it definitely has a top that seals. It seals.
It
has a top that seals.
Right.
And this is why there's so much uncertainty around this too, because Goku died. We don't know really shit about the Dragon Balls at this period. We don't know that Kami created them and that Piccolo is linked to Kami, and if Piccolo dies, Kami dies. And Piccolo doesn't die really, because he spits out the incarnation, which is the Piccolo we know today, Piccolo Jr., whatever. But at the time too, after, you know, Roshi does the evil containment wave, the thing that Roshi fucked up on is that when Mutai Ito did the fucking evil containment wave, he had Roshi holding the pot for stability and slammed it to close. So when he like tried to slam the, you know, Piccolo into the rice cooker, it like didn't seal him or whatever, it missed it or whatever, like the pot like fell over, it didn't have the stability it needed, and so like it misses, and then fucking Piccolo is like, oh my God, I thought it was getting sealed for another 100 years. Oh my God. He's like fucking tripping, like, oh my, I can't believe I survived that shit. You know?
Wow.
Like it was so good. And then, you know, Roshi dies, because you have to die to use the evil containment wave, and just dies. But there's a last stand 1B basically here too, which is Chaozu, because Tien like regains consciousness in time to see Roshi die, and then see Piccolo fucking bring up the fucking dragon, brings up Shenron and wishes for his youth. but he telepathically tells fucking Chaozu, wish for something first, and Chaozu tries to hover out there. I want, blah, Piccolo just shoots him in the head, kills him, blah, kills fucking Chaozu too, and Chaozu and fucking Roshi die right there, and you're like, damn, and then fucking Piccolo makes his wish and kills Shenron, blows him up into pieces, and you're like, I don't know what's going to happen.
That's the highest stakes that we've ever gotten in Dragon Ball.
No question. No question. No question. The highest stakes, period.
Yeah.
Especially because they all thought Goku was dead too. Like, you know.
Sure. But we have had someone already revived with the Dragon Balls, correct?
Yes, we had
the dad
Upa.
of the little.
Not Upa. Upa's dad is Bora.
Yeah. So we already did revive him, so we do know it's possible to do so.
But still,
as
at the same time, though, we just
tying
completely
Kami
beat them.
and Piccolo together, and
he blew
the dragon,
up Shenron.
The dragon killed or whatever, supposedly. So super high stakes for Dragon Ball.
And when Goku finally goes to fucking Kami's lookout and trains with Popo tells him, like, no, Kami's here. The dragon's broken, and they go into like a room and it's like in pieces, and Kami could just put it back together. Kami could just put the statue back together and make the dragon good again. Dragon's technically immortal as long as I stay alive. Don't worry about the dragon. But at the time, you had no fucking idea. You thought Roshi was out of here. You thought fucking Chaozu was out of here. Yeah. Krillin was already dead because Tambourine just kicked his head
him
off.
In the forehead.
Wow, you know, and it's like, so you were really thinking that you really were thinking characters were out of here back then when. You know, later in Dragon Ball, you know, you find out that never really actually happens. But at the time, it was a last stand. You know, it's not an official, but
obviously better than Z, bro.
It's light years better. The stakes were so much higher, man. Like, just think of General Tao grabbing the spear from Bora too. And throws the spear in Bora and just kills him. It's like there's so many like quick, like serious deaths of serious characters that. Even though we know the Dragon Balls at least exist and that you can get a wish, you really don't know that you could wish anybody back till you wish Bora back. And even still, it's like Dragon Balls are like so much harder to collect. The power scaling and the power gaps are so much closer that you could encounter another person who has other Dragon Balls that you might not be able to beat. It's not like right now. It's like if Goku flies the world, he's gonna get the Dragon Balls in like 15 minutes and nobody can stop him from doing it. Like, you know,
just Dragon Ball, like original Dragon Ball, just had so many other kinds of conflict besides just beat the big bad of like the arc. Like there were so many like better like subplots, you know what I'm saying? And there were so many other like situations that you could find characters in besides just like, okay, the bad guy beat this character, so this next, you know, protagonist is up. He beat that protagonist, so the next protagonist is up. You know what I'm saying? And it's not just like, obviously the threats are escalating in power, you know, because it's fucking Dragon Ball, but at the same time, it's like you would see characters having to go do other interesting things besides just
and I feel like that's why I feel like the Cell Saga, specifically the Android Saga, I think is one of my favorite, probably my favorite arc in Dragon Ball Z, because it ties it back to the Red Ribbon Army. And like in Dragon Ball Z, it's like an enemy from space has come to Earth, beat it. An enemy from space has come to Earth, beat it. But not you know, the Android Saga, because they were Red Ribbon Army androids. But in Dragon Ball Original, like Goku goes to hell, Goku's fighting androids, Goku's fighting armies, Goku's going to tournaments, Goku's just doing so much, I think, like a more unique smattering of things than just fighting aliens from space, which is cool too. I like Dragon Ball Z.
Definitely cool too. Love Dragon Ball Z, but like Dragon
Toriyama
Ball
phoned it in. Like, let's just be honest. Like,
it
was free money at that point.
Though back
and so
then.
like,
he did it spectacularly. As good as you can phone anything in ever. Toriyama did that. But you're like, you see his fucking diverse palette of fucking plot lines in Dragon Ball versus Dragon Ball Z, and you're just like, I mean, this is just money at this point, right? And then you get to fucking GT, you get to Super. Now we're 25 years of fucking like cash cowing. Like this Dragon Ball, y'all got to put respect on Dragon Ball.
This cow has got to be like tiny, like shriveled up like a raisin, bro. Like still trying to go.
We squeezed all we can out this bitch, man.
But I totally agree with you. Dragon Ball Original is Toriyama's like pure creativity, his pure art, his pure like what he does as an artist and a writer is Dragon Ball Original, and Dragon Ball Z Plus is just let's take his beautiful story and just keep it going. Why not?
Let's just, you know, trophy shonen. We're all gonna
and I like it.
Well, and especially because, I mean, I'm sure there was diverse stories at the time, you know, like shonens. I mean, they're kind of like kind of. But regardless, at that time, like, that's what people wanted. When America got it, like, we obviously went fucking crazy. It's something we never saw before. We didn't know, like, we needed a little bit more out of our anime at the time.
Yeah.
You know, especially because we got Dragon Ball Z first. Like, you know, like, that's always the thing, you know? And that's the other thing that I can say about this, too. For somebody who saw, you know, the Saiyan saga first and knows that Roshi's alive and then got to go back to watch Dragon Ball, I still was on the edge of my seat. Like, the intensity was so high, even though I'm like, man, I guess Roshi and Chaozu and Krillin all come back somehow. But at the time, I'm like, it really doesn't feel like they are, because if I just take face value what we should know at this point, they should not be coming back. The dragon just got blown up in 100 pieces.
It didn't
like,
soil the moment for you as much as like you think that it probably should have, because the storytelling was that good back then.
It was that good, exactly. Yeah, definitely.
Wow.
Great pick.
Amazing pick. I wasn't even expecting that, but that's makes so much sense now that we've I
got three very iconic shonen picks.
Yes.
Like, I mean, JoJo is a very iconic anime. I don't know if JoJo is, or I mean, I'm sorry, Jonathan is where you go with that immediately, but I don't know. I wanted a man's man too.
Yes.
Hell yeah. All right, so back to me then. All right, so this pick, it is in this show. Have y'all ever seen Gurren Lagann?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Awesome, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I was hoping you did. So this, I think you know the moment I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, dude.
Kamina.
Of course.
Oh my.
Of course.
And so this scene.
It was so fucked up when I watched it for the first
fucked
time.
up, so unexpected.
It's like,
So at this point in the story, it's only episode 8. Episode 8 of a 24, 26 episode anime.
Soon,
so soon. Everything up until this point is going fantastic. You know what I mean? Like, the gang is up on the surface. The gang is stealing these gunmen. They're stealing mechs or whatever. Simon, you know, he's able to, like, you know, take his drill and like take over enemy, you know, things or whatever. And so it's just everything's going fantastic. And now they're kind of going after, at this point, it seems like the biggest bad they've gone to. You know what I mean? This big ass gunboat. The Die Gunzon or whatever, and
Gunzon, that sounds right.
Just this, like, the whole setup is just so.
That's my new nickname.
Tragic. Die Gunzon. So Yoko confesses her love to Kamina. You know. Yeah. And that is, you already see, like, when you rewatch it, you're like,
you're like, wait a minute, wait.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So they go. They start attacking the gunship. Everything seems going super well. But because Simon, like, saw them kiss, now he's all in his mind conflicted and fucked up about the whole situation. So even though he, like, uses the drill against the big ship, he can't take it over because he's too conflicted. He doesn't have the will or whatever to do it or whatever. And so then we get the first. Well, this is like the second iteration of the quote from Kamina, but like the first quote of the episode where, you know, Kamina goes over and punches Simo in the face and says, like, hey, get your head in the game here, buddy. Like, don't believe in yourself. Believe in the me that believes in you. Get in there, son. And he's like, okay, great, awesome, cool. And then like, okay, now he takes over the boat for real. And they got it, hooray! You know what I mean? But then the, like, gorilla guy and his mech, he comes out and starts attacking. And so, like, Kamina, he gets, like, attacked from below. He gets his leg cut off. Then the dude, like, skewers him. Like, he literally takes the spear and goes through the cockpit. And Kamina is, like, really, really, really injured. You know what I mean? And he gets back up. Everyone, like, thinks he's dead, but he gets back up. And he's like, we're gonna combine into Gurren Lagann for the final fight. We're gonna take this fucker out right now together. You know what I mean? And so they go, and he's, like, just doing all these drill attacks, like destroying, like, all these fodder, you know, mechs or whatever, just obliterating everyone.
Like, Kamina, let's go.
And then the moment happens, which is this is my favorite moment in the entire series and the most powerful moment in my opinion. And then he says the true version of the quote. You know what I mean? As he's dying, kind of like just trying to give Simon, like, the send off. You know what I mean? Like, let's be strong. You know what I mean? He says, believe in yourself, not in the you who believes in me, and not in the me who believes in you. Believe in the you that believes in yourself.
Yes. Yes, bro. Chills, bro. Chills,
so
bro.
good.
I was like, holy
and then
shit,
they pull
just
out the
did that. So hype, so sad, so like it's just every emotion at once, and you're like, this fucking anime just did that to me in episode 8. Yeah, and you're like, what? You know, like I had never seen anything that like ambitious. You know what I'm saying? Like in an anime before. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh, this shit is the GOAT already. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, yeah. You just don't see that. They don't do that. Yeah.
Same thing. Like it was one of those anime. It's like a lot of people put me on to. Like they were just like, you got to watch Gurren Lagann, right? Like over and over again. Like a lot of people told me, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'll get to it. And like when I did, I was like, oh shit, I see it. Like right, like it doesn't take long for you to be like, damn, this is definitely why people goat this shit. This shit is
for real.
Like to have like. You know, obviously Simon's the MC, but like Kamina feels like the MC for
he does.
The beginning of the story, right? Like he's definitely like the MC for a while, and you're like, to lose that and transition into the true MC, like that's always going to hit real hard. Like you're always going to feel real emotional when you lose. And like Kamina's the coolest dude ever, man. Don't you want to just party with Kamina, man?
Yes,
like, that's your
dude.
boy. Like,
that's my guy, bro.
I know. Like,
and in 8 episodes, you're like, holy shit, I care so much about this fucking character. Like,
I know.
That's how like, you could tell that the writer was like, they're gonna fucking love this dude, and then I'm gonna take him away from him.
Bro,
he's probably at his fucking like computer, like I can't wait to give him this shit. God.
I know you really feel really fucked up because you're like, man, I literally if this guy was like my boy, my best friend, I hung out and chill with this guy, man, we'd had the greatest time ever. And I'm losing the greatest guy, man. It's tough, bro.
You get the black and white as he's like nodding off into death, and he goes,
it's always the world.
Later, buddy.
Yeah, later, buddy. Yeah, it's very now that you said like this is the greatest guy ever, like it's just like it's right up there with like Thors, dude. You know what I mean? It's like you know what I mean? It's like
for different reasons, but like certainly
certainly the same quality of character, you know, that similar quality of character, you know what I mean? Like representing like similar you know, like his place in the story. His
charisma is contagious, right? Like
there you go.
It's something that builds you up just being around, right? Yeah. So like whenever you have something like that, that's huge. Like it's just so big.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow.
Definitely.
Massive pick. Fuck yeah. I'm so happy you fucking said that, dude. Did you have anything else you wanted to say about Kamina?
No. I mean, I think if you've seen it, you know.
Yes. If you know, you know.
And if you haven't seen it, get in there and see it.
Yeah, get in there. Yeah. It definitely does not ruin Gurren Lagann to know that Kamina dies. It's episode 8 out of 24. You know
I was going to say, there's still 20 episodes or whatever. 15
absolutely.
episodes.
Yeah.
So it's back on your boy. This is a... So like I don't know. For the sake of time, I feel like we should kind of like round the conversation off here. But I'm just gonna kind of like I've been drawing like I've been doing like off the top of my head picks like the entire time, and I have like two like real tried and true picks that I need to get off. So I'm gonna try to lightly. I'm gonna try to combine the two. I'm gonna try to not take too much time, but I definitely want to bring this up because this is one of my favorite deaths in manga, and we're looking at fucking Lubbock from a M.A.N.G.A kill.
Oh my god!
Yes.
Bro, Lubbock gets so fucked up.
Dude, okay, so here's the thing, right? So a Kamina kill is something that like we were reading, you know, like very early on in its story, like before the well before the anime ever came out, right?
Before the anime
and we're like, this shit is fucking amazing, and we're reading it month to month because it's a monthly series, and like then all of a sudden the anime, you know, gets announced, and I've complained about this multiple times across multiple people's podcasts, including our own. So, like, I'm very mad about the way that this adaptation went, and the main reason why I'm so upset is because, like, a M.A.N.G.A kill started off incredibly strong. I was like, fuck yeah, it's doing everything right. It's adapting the shit scene for scene, basically. But then, like...
Yeah, the anime,
Yep, but then it gets
great
to, like...
for a while,
it gets to, like, episode 18... And then it starts doing whatever it wants because it caught up to the source. And while it was catching up,
shortly after Bulat, I felt like it really started. It was
like right. Yeah, it was right after that big, you know, like battle. you know, with Bulat and everyone with like the giant like dinosaur skeleton and shit in like the Grand Canyon like ravine kind of like area. But then and then as we're approaching that, and I'm like super hyped to get there. I'm like, I can't wait to see this battle adapted. I'm like, wait a minute. Like, this is going too fast. I was like, this is a monthly. Like they're not like what are they gonna, a monthly? Yeah, I was like, what are they gonna like? They're gonna catch up. Like, what are they gonna do when they catch up? Are they gonna take a break and like let more chapters come out? I was like, I have no idea what's gonna happen here. They got to chapter 18, ran out of source material, and just started doing whatever they wanted, and they ruined one of the best moments in the entire fucking manga, which is Lubbock's last stand. And for those of you that have only seen the anime, stop this fucking video right now and go fucking read from where you pick up after chapter or after episode 18 in the anime, and just fucking read through the rest of it, because I don't even want to like bring up what the anime did differently. I'm just going to talk about what happened in the manga for Lubbock, because Wild Hunt is, you know, the last like really big like faction that they like kind of like deal with, that Night Raid kind of like deals with, right? And these motherfuckers are cold-blooded, and they all have like really weird obsessions with like sexual abuse, which is like weird. But this one character, Izo, is like the fucking swordsman, like Ronin, you know, like Iido, you know, Bato Jutsu like style swordsman, which you already know how I'm rolling, you know what I'm saying? You already know how we coming with that. He's the only one that doesn't have that weird obsession, you know, or that weird like, you know, like his character isn't revolved or revolved around that weird shit. Right. He's literally just bloodlust incarnate.
You're weird.
Yeah, buddy, you're weird. Yeah, but no, he's actually like just an honorable Ronin with immense bloodlust. He has his fucking sword, Kosetsu. I think is his sword, Kosetsu, and he has to feed his sword blood regularly. You know what I mean? And so like we'll get back to him in just a second, but he's like just the shining star of the Wild Hunt, you know, villain group. Yeah. And you know,
it's a fucked up group.
Yeah, it's a fucked up group, bro. And you know, and they don't even touch on that in the anime for like obvious reasons. They gotta like kind of like clean some of that stuff up. It's a little bit too real. It's a little bit too real. But so Lubbock gets captured by the main
Shiryu?
I don't even remember.
Some version of Shiryu the Rain, I don't know.
Shiryu the Void Fist, no, but
Shiryu the Blue Dragon.
Yeah. But no, so he catches Lubbock, right? And Lubbock was a character that I thought was safe. Like characters in the show, you know, they're assassins. They say it right away in chapter 1, episode 1, like we could die at any moment, and we're ready for that. We're assassins. We know what life we live. We can all die.
Just real quick too. I just want to say that almost no character felt safe other than Lubbock. I mean, there wasn't a lot of characters that felt safe, and he was just he was like the light. He lightened the mood a lot of the time and stuff. So you like felt like he needed to stay around. Yeah,
he was a light in the dark.
It hurt so much. It hurts
so much because he gets captured and he's tortured for like a week by these people trying to get information on Night Raid. Where's Nagenda's base? What are the other, you know, Night Raid members' Tegus? Like, what are their abilities? Like, tell us everything you know about your people. And he's like, fuck you, you know, and they got him strung up. They even go so far when they're torturing him where they take a fucking nutcracker and start crushing his testicles to get information out of him. That's fucking was so brutal. And I was like, and he's still not saying shit. I was like, they're going to kill him right here, and he's going to go out like a fucking G. But he finally breaks. And he says, okay, I'll tell you everything. I'll tell you everything. And they're like, all right, that's what I thought, bitch. And they like unshackle him from the thing. But his Tegu is a string Tegu. I can't remember the name of it.
String thing.
But he's basically like Doflamingo, you know what I'm saying? Like, Doflamingo, or he, you know, he's got like a string, you know, kind
Machi
of ability
or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Jolene.
Yeah, yep.
Yes.
And so he's like, fuck it, man. I'll tell you everything about Night Raid. And I'm like, no, Lubbock. It's like, I get it because they crushed your balls, but like, I I'm like, I'm singing too if you crush my ball. Like, before you do. Before you do.
Sang already. Yeah.
Like, they tortured the shit out of this man. And at so many points in time, I'm like, just tell him, dude. I'm like, stop going through this and just tell him. But he didn't. And then he finally was like, all right, fuck it. I'll do it. I'll tell you everything. He unshackles him. He hid his tegu in his throat, and he pulls the fucking tegu out of his throat and kills everyone there, and then and then escapes, right? But he takes Saryu's tegu. He doesn't kill Saryu, but he kills all of his people, and then he wounds Saryu.
And that's the mistake.
And then he takes his fucking tegu, and then he bounces, and then when he leaves, he's out there. He's like, I'm gonna go. He's in love with M.A.N.G.A, the night raid boss. He's really cool with Tatsumi. He's like, I'm about to go see my fucking people, bro. I got out. They're gonna be so proud of me. Yeah, I was like, he's out. I was like, he got out. He's like, I'm about to go see my people right now. I can't wait till I get back to the base. Runs into Izo, and Izo's standing there like, my sword is thirsty and you blew it.
Thirsty.
Yeah. He's like, my sword is thirsty and you blew it, and I'm about to fucking kill you right here. And he, has like an exchange with Lubbock. And I'm like, Lubbock's he wouldn't just survive, you know what I'm saying, all of that just to die right here. I was like, he's good.
Out.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? He's got his tegu. He's ready. This is about to be a cold-blooded ass fight. He's about to survive this, like, with an inch of his life and get back to the base, bro. It's fine. And then he's fighting Izo. And I'm like, man, he's kind of getting like whooped a little bit. And then Izo goes for the final like blow or whatever. And Lubbock is like, I got your master's tegu. You're not going to fucking cut through this because this is important to you. You want to get this back to your master. And then Izo's like, I only care about feeding my fucking sword. Fuck that tegu and fuck my boss. Cuts through the tegu and through Lubbock entirely. Slices him like in half down from like his shoulder, like down to like his hip. Cuts him clean in half, and you get this fucking like sequence where Lubbock's like life flashes like before him or whatever, and he thinks of M.A.N.G.A and he thinks of Tatsumi and he thinks of everyone. He's like, I fucked up, you guys, like I blew it, you know what I'm saying, but like I love you guys. And like it's just like this like crazy scene, and like I'm reading this when the chapter comes out, and I'm like, Kiko, bro, no, Lubbock, man, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we were hurt.
We were so fucking hurt, man, but it was such an epic way to send his character off. It was just brilliant writing all throughout. There was like not a wasted dialogue bubble. The art was top tier, even for the series. I feel like in the scene, like you could really tell that the artist and the writer really liked Lubbock's character, and this probably really hurt to send him off the way that he did, but he had to make him go out like the ultimate G if you're gonna fucking do it. And in the fucking anime, I don't even want to fucking talk about that shit, but they completely changed this amazing scene and did something so stupid, and I will forever hate the anime for Akame got killed because of that. So I wanted to
Hey, how about Budo flying around at the end and shit, being all like...
Yeah, it's like a dragon. They just made it like a Dragon Ball Z fight. It's like this character doesn't even fly, but like let's make him fly because we don't know what the source material says. So like this is what anime should look like, right? You know what I mean? And it's like, how dare you,
let
bro?
These writers live, man.
Yeah,
like, these animes can't be doing this.
Yeah,
why can't you just let the writer... I mean... finish the guide, or at least give you enough content to where you're not going to catch up. You know, like
exactly.
It's man, it sucked. The anime is so strong and so good at first. Like think about like Shield's fight with what's her name? The
girl that like has the dog bite a body part and then she gets a new weapon.
Yes.
Yeah. That shit was
fight
hectic.
was so cold blooded in the anime, man. And even Bulat and Tatsumi's fight with the three, whatever they were, like that was like. But like after that, I just felt like that anime fell off, and it's like I don't even it's like I stopped watching. I didn't watch the end because like I was like, what's happened?
Yeah,
like, this isn't. I know what's supposed to happen, and none of this is.
This shit became a fucking circus, bro. Yeah.
And I just quit. I was like, man, the first like 9-12 episodes slapped, but after that, you're like, no.
But I had to bring up the boy Lubbock because that's really like the first thing I thought of when we like first started talking about this topic. I was like, this is why I want to do this. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Especially when somebody gets tortured like that for like a whole week. Like you really gotta like, man. it hurt to read those chapters. Like, it just did.
And then now I'm remembering that, like, Night Raider's like, don't worry, we're going to get Lubbock back. He's not going to snitch.
Yeah,
they're going to fuck him up. They're
yep.
like, but we're about to go get our boy back, bro. You know what I'm saying? And everyone's talking about
positive reinforcement.
Yeah, everyone's talking about their favorite moments with Lubbock, you know what I'm saying? Which is obvious death flags that I, like, didn't consider, like, back then, you know? They all go in a row, and they're like, remember that time that Lubbock did this? Remember that time that? And I'm just like, fuck, bro. You know? But had to bring him up, absolutely. Yeah. Last thing the last thing we're gonna round this off on is an iconic last stand that I feel like is very good for the end of the conversation. But we're looking at Zabuza inside of Naruto, taking it back to Naruto. Zabuza versus the mercenaries in that first real arc of Naruto, the first real antagonist that you see, and Zabuza. The reason why I wanted to bring him up is because I feel like it's rare that the very first real threat in a series gets as much characterization and development and depth as Zabuza got inside of Naruto. Like I wasn't ready for, you know, because you're like, it's like monster. It's going to be monster of the week for a little bit, like every anime is, like every shonen anime is. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be okay. This guy's, he might be the strongest one yet, but like they're going to beat him. He's going to be a stepping stone, and then they're going to move on. But no, this character meant a lot to the story at the time, like a lot more than I thought he was going to, and he went out in such a epic way and in such. I just wasn't ready for him to be that amazing of a character after his like villainy phase, right? Because he's like the threat. He's fucking Kakashi up. You're like, holy shit. Okay, now we get to see what Kakashi can do, and then that's gonna be it, right? Like eventually they're gonna beat him, but like no, you get all of this pathos and like depth to his character and all of these reasons to care about him and his relationship with Haku and like and it was just so like beautifully done. I was like, holy shit. Like, that's when I really, like, realized, I was like, Kishimoto can write his fucking ass off if this is the first antagonist
around
that we
Zabuza,
fucking get.
No question at
all.
Bro.
I was like, what the fuck, bro? And then the story kind of, like, continues, and, like, they killed Haku or whatever, and, like, that, like, obviously was, like, a really big deal for Zabuza, and then, like, the Yakuza dude shows up, and then, like, he betrays him and, like, sicks his fucking mercenaries on him, and he's already, like, wounded as shit, you know what I mean? And he beats all of their asses with just a fucking kunai in his mouth because his like arms are like broken or whatever, and he's got like fucking all of these weapons like sticking out of him, you know what I'm saying? He just runs through the entire like one-man armies him, you know what I'm saying, with just a fucking kunai in the mouth, and you're like, holy shit, this could be a main squad like member. Like this is shit that you see in like protagonists, you know what I mean? Like this is shit that you see like long-running series like protagonists do like on their last legs at the end, like people you've been rooting for and been hanging out with for like hundreds of chapters. This is like chapter 25, you know what I mean? Like
you're right,
you know what I mean?
Exactly right. It's so
you know
early.
You know what I mean? And it's like, holy shit, like why do I care about this fucking character so much who is supposed to be a villain or an antagonist, you know what I mean? Like Kishimoto like really like flipped the script, like, okay, let's get him out of here, let's beat him, to okay, wait, no, like, he's great. Like, let's keep him around, you know what I mean? And then, oh my God, man, it's just one of the best first antagonists that I've ever seen.
There's so many, like, moving parts to Zabuza, I feel like. Because, so, first of all, I think the first part there's two major things I want to touch on about Zabuza that I remember. First off is he's named the Demon of the Mist because he's the first kid in his elementary class to kill all the other kids, right? Like, because that's what you needed to do as a hidden mist ninja, is kill somebody else in your class to ascend basically to Genin. That's what you needed to do to become a Genin. And so they did so much work to like dehumanize him, like Kishimoto like made him feel like a killing robot almost at first, and then to give him so much humanization at the end of his life to say like, you know what, even though I had to like kill my feelings to become a real shinobi, at the end of the day I still loved Haku. Like Haku was basically my son or whatever. Like he was the only person in this world that was ever close to me. Like he's the only person I ever loved and cared for. So like it was such good writing on Kishimoto's part, because like especially when I remember him talking. So here's the other thing too is Kishimoto made it feel that Zabuza would only keep Haku around because of Haku's skills. Like Haku is a shinobi genius, and I bred him that way. Like I made him what he is because I saw his potential, and that's why I keep him around. Unlike you, trash, and basically talking to Naruto and Sakura and Sasuke, like y'all ain't Genin, y'all ain't ninja, y'all ain't shit. Because this is what a true ninja is Haku, who's killed his feelings and will fight dead to the end of his life, and he will make sure he commits everything he has to his mission. And this is why I fuck with him. Like this is why. But then you find out he didn't kill his emotions because he loves fucking Zabuza like a fucking father. And both of them never actually killed their emotions, and they love each other. But the whole buildup through this whole arc is how they are just acting as shinobi killing machines. And they humanize both of them. Kishimoto humanizes both of them so well. After breaking that down to start, you're like, man,
expectations these guys are just, what are they? Like what am I even what am I even looking at here? And so when Zabuza's like laying there to his death and like next to Haku like crying, like, you know what, I would have told you I really cared about you if I could really just get past like all this ninja shit, like and like what we were always trained for, like I would have told you I loved you and all this shit, because I like. And then the other thing I remember Zabu was saying that was like so profound is he was talking to the Yakuza boss, and he's like, the Yakuza boss says, I'm gonna send you to go meet your student because you're done. Like we're about to kill you. And Zabuza's like, I'll never meet my student, and neither will you. We will never meet somebody as honorable as that, because where we're going, there's no, I'm a demon. I'm gonna fit right in hell. I'm gonna be great. But you're soft. Wait till I kill your ass, because once you go to hell with me, and I see you,
you're never going to be able to withstand hell. But I'm gonna fit right in. I'm the demon of the mist. Like that shit was so wild that he said that shit. Like we'll never see Haku. Haku's going to heaven. We're going to hell because we are demons. Like we are true evil people, and you're not gonna last in hell. Where I'm gonna fit right in, baby. I'm gonna fit right in. I'm a run hell basically, and that shit hit so hard.
Dude, I just got goosebumps from you saying that right now.
That shit's so hard,
holy
bro.
Fucking shit, I forgot about that quote, dude.
Naruto slaps, bro. The first part of Naruto, like,
it's a masterpiece to me.
It is, bro. Kid Naruto slaps. The first like 135 episodes or whatever, 130 chapters, whatever it is. Like that shit slaps, bro. I loved it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Had to bring up Zabuza. Just because like I was like, okay, I want like a really strong iconic pick, and then I want like a couple like niche picks, you know what I'm saying? Like pocket picks or whatever. And then obviously a lot came to my mind like on the random, but like an incredible discussion regardless. We all killed the fucking game with this fucking discussion. Holy fucking shit, dude. Every single pick was so amazing. This is one of my favorite conversations that we've had, I think. And I feel like I've said that a lot, but like this is
part two.
This is something I want to do part two for like next week. I want to do part two like next week.
But in the near future.
I know, but I'm just like so hyped off of it. But
I know, me too. Me too.
But absolutely, let us know how you felt in the comments. Let us know what your favorite last stands are. Let us know how you felt about our picks. Anything you guys want to comment, we love talking to you guys in the comments. Talk to us on Twitter, talk to us in Discord. If you haven't joined the Discord, links down in the description. But and that's also going to be where you see us on all of our other online communities like Facebook and whatnot. Other ways to consume the Project Manga podcast inside of like Spotify, Apple Music, and the audio only platforms. But and ways to donate to the podcast if you feel so generous. But that's going to do it for this episode of Tangential Tie-Ins, you guys. Thanks for joining us. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Slap a like on the video if you enjoyed it. But that is going to do it, and we are going to roll out. I am your host, Noxy.
What up? It's Kiko. Peace, y'all.
And Nickums.
We'll catch y'all next time.